The Kraken, its arms wrapped around the whale, pulling it down to the depths. And us with it. I slashed the rope, releasing the whale. And as quickly as it came, the monster disappeared, dragging its dinner into the icy waters. Vanished completely. Took me another season to muster the desire to go whaling again.
I would have loved to.
Pull up here!
Förum að brjóta eitthvað. We're off. Let's hear a story.
You want a story, but I will give you a confession. And if you think me weaker for it, that tells more about you than me. Here is my secret. I love love. I love being in love. I love the ache of love, the turmoil of love. My parents taught me that. To love, love. My mother once said, better to feel the stings and arrows of love than nothing at all. Be a bolt of lightning, not a stone. So many men forget to hug. My father would go by every hut in our village every night with mead and hugs. I would do the same. He always...
Hush now.
Say that! We fight!
Could be chopped up in the bottom. What's my lead? Crush me! closer, idiot beasties! Keep your guard up!
We have what we came for! Let's go! Now is not the time. Is there a seaskull among you?
I often think on Estrid and my time in Essex. I was almost a year younger, and more foolhardy then. Once, the sight of her filled me with tempest. But those storms have calmed now. She did not giggle nor swoon like many girls I know. Wit was her weapon. She could unman you with one swipe of her tongue. But such grace, such light. Freya herself would not step with such elegance. Her gaze blinded me. Her words cut me down, raised me up, made me a wolf, a lamb, a babe, a sage. Wiser men than me have been made fools by love. But not all of them take the lesson from it that I have. When I marry, I will take an equal. No more, no less. A woman worthy of me, as I will be of her.
We need an epic tale.
I will tell you this. No one is born with the gift of Odin's verse. One must work.
We'll pick up from there. Sail! Catch the wind! All right.
I will
back
tell
to
you
the
this.
story. We can continue later.
The skull hooded here.
Where were you?
I will tell you this. No one is born with the gift of Odin's...
Save it for later. All right, back to the story.
I will tell you this. No one is born with the gift of Odin's verse. One must work and suffer to learn the skill of fighting. When you look like I do, and do not hit as hard as the young oafs, you must find different ways to survive. A long time ago, on youth's smooth path,
Show me.
I came into the company of an old Skald. He wrote sagas for the Jarls of the region. He had fallen into trouble with some of the locals, and I could not stand by and watch him take a beating. So I stepped in. 6 men attacked me, and I was swiftly put down. For that, the old Skald bought me ale, and invited me to join him on his travels. I was to help him with physical errands and be a second ear to his compositions. In turn, he would teach me how to compose verse. We would spar with words, and he taught me about wordsmithing new kennings. Those were good days, scant though they were. I wish to write sagas on my own now, but I have never had the inspiration. It may be my journey is here to serve that purpose.
You Salskulls got a story.
My mother taught me to care for oaths as if they were my own heart. There is no greater aim than to honor an oath till death. When a foul king strolls into town, an oath means as much as dust. These flimsy oaths, they cost us everything. I like to take oaths in the ancient manner. Do not eat for a day, then cut a sheet of peaty turf from the earth. Then wrap your sword in this oily carpet of dirt and grass, flakes from great Ymir's old corpse, and set it aflame. In that way your honor burns bright. Does not dwindle as you speak the old words. Now, with nothing to your name, with nothing to gain or lose, will you pledge your heart, your family, your raven wine, your honor, your might, and your word to each and each who stands and stood with you like fire and fire, and finally the dagger? Together draw blood from the cradle of the sword earth, mixed your inner rivers, and you are bound. That is how you make an oath. Today we shake, spit, and trade arm rings. All ceremony is gone. All thunder and spirit.
Is there a sea skull among you?
When I gave up my berserker ways, my family decided to leave Norway. We sold our farm and weapons for 12 silver deniers. We sailed the whale roads with the merchant fleet, settling near Jorvik after Halfdan's battles. Alfhildr, Njal, and I owned a home. Each day, we went to the market, where Njal did tricks to earn coin. We were beloved, and Njal was pleased by Jorvik's tasty fish. But one day, people no longer enjoyed Njal's tricks. The market was empty. The townsfolk had gone to watch a new act in town. We went too, only to find a bear baiting them. They kept a bear in a pit, fighting dogs and thralls. We were sickened. That night, we formed a plan. We met the bear's owners and plied them with strong ale. Once asleep, we threw them in the pit. Their bear mauled them savagely, for they had mistreated it badly. The bear then followed Njal and us out of that wicked town. We led the bear into Pictland. And as for our part, we moved to Dunwich in East Anglia, where our troubles began anew.
We need an epic tale.
When I was 11 winters old, I was the youngest of my favorite cousins. A wild and rowdy bunch of boys and girls. Together with our parents, we attended a feast at the home of Halfdan the Black of the House of Yngling. To toughen our patience, our parents set us with the old woman, who ordered us to bake flatbreads and serve it to the noble jarls. After an hour, the flatbreads piled so high into pillars, you could have built a roof over it and called it a longhouse. When our work was done, an older boy, Guthrod, suggested we steal a keg of mead, drown in happiness for our good work. So Guthrod, Mikkel and Åsa snuck into the storeroom and stole a barrel as I stood watch. But when we were spotted, I froze. 3 of Harald's men stopped us. They struck Guthrod and Mikkel and pushed Åsa to the ground. "Whose idea was this?" they asked. I stood and said, "The idea was mine. The meat is for me." One of the men eyed me and said only, "That is not true." Then, they moved on.
Salskull's got a story.
Quiet moments like these, I often think on my life and how it will come to pass. The Nornir weave our fates. Everything we do has already been decided, even the day of our death. But these thoughts trouble me. For if the Nornir already know I am to be great, then I will be great, no matter what I do. If I cast myself overboard to drown, would fate send a dolphin to save me? Or was I always meant for a watery end? What is the point of valor, of glory? If I slay 100 men, am I a hero? After all, the dice were loaded. Should I do nothing at all? Why make an effort when I could stand here and let my fate come to me? Or does heroism lie in not knowing one's fate? Facing your end, whatever the winds of the gods. Perhaps the true measure of a man, the full span of his worth, is how little he gives a shit.
If you have a friend, one that's truly trusted, and want good to grow of your friendship, often should you speak, trade many gifts, visit and find him often. If you have another, one that you mistrust, still you want to profit from him, kindly you should speak, and flatter you give, his treachery repaid with your own. This same friend, if you mistrust him and suspect him to be false in his words, you should talk with him, laugh with him, but repay just what he gives you. I was young once, I walked alone, and became lost in my way. I felt like I was rich when I met another. Man's joy is found in others. Man's joy is found in others.
Come, my wolves!
Now we'll see! Step with me!
We've outstayed our welcome! Strike up a tune. Let's hear a story.
In the early days of the feud between Kjotve the crew and the Raven clan, there was a mad berserker called Kiar Robo. Kiar had pledged his battle fury to no king.
I was in Hedeby when I saw the truest scene of love. There were two royals, King Sigroth and Queen Alvidi, who seemed a matched pair. They ruled well, a dynasty of grace, honor, and might. They carried themselves with so much love, all of us envied them. Then Sigfrida arrived, princess and daughter to King Sharvik, a rival house that had chosen to ally with Sigroth, a powerful union. With everything to gain, all to lose, Sigroth and Sigfrida disobeyed all logic and fell deeply in love. But King Sharvik refused to part with his daughter. An old man, whose death was coming, and he commanded that she die with him. She would join him in the corpse hall before joining Sigroth in marriage. So it would pass. Sharvik died. Sigfrida...
Hush now. Were you at the good part yet?
Sigfrida was next to be burned. As the flames took her, Sigroth leapt upon the pyre and followed her into the next place. Sigroth left behind a wife, children, a clan, a village, and all the riches and honor he held in. For love, what he did seems a dishonor. But love is often higher than honor.
Who'll share a tale?
Heed me, rowers, and I will tell you the tale of how I met my wife. Since many of you wonder at how we berserkers could ever meet, I was young, and at a midsummer feast in Trondheim, when someone bumped me, knocking my sweet honeycomb into their mead. I was mad, but she just laughed at me. We spent the rest of the night together, sharing mead and honey, and other things. But in the morning she sailed away with her fleet to Orkney. I wept and raged, because I knew I would not see her again. Then, the gods smiled on me, and I found a ship heading to Orkney that needed a rower. I climbed aboard, and for weeks I rowed. We landed, and I made my way to her father's farm. But too late. She was wedding that same day. The groom's hounds chased me away. Heartbroken, I returned to the ship and slept. Next morn, we lifted sail, and I began to row. It took an hour before I saw she was sitting behind me. I was overjoyed. Sometime in the night, she had left the wedding and snuck onto our ship. We rowed together for weeks, wet and happy. Those were happier days. Before Njal and the berserking, and my first battle. And of course, the dark deeds that later befell us.
When I was a girl, I tied threads to my mother's cats and screamed. The cut got right through Valhalla! Why is it when we grow old, we stop telling ourselves the most fantastic stories? Why is it we stop believing we can command the gods? We abandon all the true dramas of our own creations. Our own friendly Seidr, for the dark Seidr, the political Seidr. When we are children, we are the nobles of our little world, the rulers of moments, the glory of glee. And if I have learned anything from all of my battles, all of my wars, my days, my regrets, my victories, I always take the time to have fun. I do not apologize for it. So save your stupidest war cry for me, Birna, lover of strangeness.
A good nickname must carry a good story. My nickname is Bjorn Bloodproof. And I too carry a story to go with my name. My nickname has nothing to do with battles, nor my love of beef and meat. It is due to fish. Years before I became a berserker, my greedy brother and I fished a mighty salmon run on the Orkla River. The Jarl of that place had offered a silver horn to the fisher who caught the heaviest fish that day. I'd had little luck, until suddenly, a fish as large as a pike leaped into my net. Yet it gleamed, sunlit, like a salmon shore. I hauled the fish aboard, but once on deck it slipped my net and got free. I dove and held it down, but again it wriggled loose. I dove forward, but my greedy brother tackled me, so his son could spear the fish and claim the reward. While my brother pinned my arms, I crawled forward and bit the fish, slamming it on the deck until it died. The prize was mine. That is how I earned my name, Bloodtooth. Yet to my Alfie, I was called Sweet Tooth, as I so loved her sweets.
Is there a sea skull among you?
My first day defending the walls of Grantebridge, my duty was defense. I had asked for this task myself. As I patrolled the walls, I sang and banged my shield against the ribs of the walls. I woke half the camp with my wailing. I sang from the eddies as Galen, Leaf, and Soma threw rocks at me. They thought me too frivolous. Until the day I caught a spy. Some filthy shadow walker trying to rob us. Of what? Only Loki knows. Galen killed him before he could be tried. My point is, always be loud. Act a fool. Be a nuisance. It is your greatest defense. For the less your enemy thinks of you, the more he thinks you a fool, the more likely he is to make a grave error. We are here to stay, are we not? Heed my advice, and you will live a long, long time.
Let's hear a story.
I have seen the shores of Francia now. Only a glimpse, but a glimpse was enough. I will paint it in your minds, my friends. How the wind stirs the trees, the birds cut the sky, and the lands are emerald green. The swell of those rolling hills, the way the sunlight dapples the forest floor, the maidens toiling in the fields, the sweat on their breasts glistening. Oh, yes, how their firm buttocks tighten as they bend to pick sweet flowers. Oh, don't say you weren't thinking the same. Nay, I will make that land my home. And those maidens will be mine.
Listen well, so I may tell you a tale.
There was a woman called Nal.
I came to England.
During my 19th winter,
A good shag story should...
I knew a crazed man.
The last time we were
Friends, they say...
Here's a tale to tickle your...
Did I tell you about the time?
I often wonder, who deserved
Death follows in my wake.
Soma of Grantebridge?
Rolfur, you are destined.
Listen and I will tell you the story.
My favorite part of any battle.
I once saw a Dane in Gautland boil bear meat for his supper. Can you believe that? He boiled it! Disgusting! We were stuck in a cave in the mountains, hiding from a snowstorm. Bear was meant for the village, but we had first pickings. But Solveig, a local oaf, he just ripped the flank off the bear and tossed it into a pot meant for vegetables. Left it there for an afternoon. Now, if you boil anything that long, it ends up tasting like leather. Flavorless. With fish, steer, horse, it does not matter. To bring out the flavors, you must prepare the meat. Not just butcher and toss it into a pot with yesterday's sludge. I have a recipe for bear. You coat it with honey and scrape it with salt before roasting over on a spit. Nothing better. When this oaf served up his boiled bear, another man, Njal, he sliced his piece down the center and wore it for a shoe. Ha! You see, there are few things in life that can be both luxury and need. I prefer not to squander the meat on my spit.
In my youth, I remember hearing...
When I came to England with the Sons of Ragnar, I believed it would be a brief raid, a swift adventure out on the open sea. I loved that first crossing, sliding over the blue expanse, sea spray wetting my face, hungry for new lands and adventures. Memories of home always drew me back, distracted me. For it is there where all the worst parts of my life occurred. It took too long to look ahead. But I do now. Halfdan's ambition gave rise to my own. He gave me an excuse to leave, to fight, to die an honorable and glorious death, so that we can live in the halls of our fathers. One cannot look back, you understand? You cannot go home again. The seers know this. Our paths are set. My life is here now, as is my death. Norway is a chapter past.
Sing, my ravens.
Have you heard of the king? He who lives in Kent, Lord of all northern lands. He who rules deep set keys, red and spears and blood.
Survey the area soon.
Yes, they know their well, and Frankish swords all anew. Berserks howl and bitter shields as battle dawned on the waves. Wolfmen wail and cried aloud, waved their spears up high. Glad they are now, as battle nears. Arrows range high, and oars they swing.
Hold on, good Skell.
While the saints die! Give me a hand here. Got your better. Don't play smart. Use your
Not right now.
Let's have a song. You Salskulls got a story.
A story from my youth.
I once sat down and spoke to Saxon priest. Not as men with different gods, but as drunk men. Curious, I questioned him. He claimed we might believe differently in who sits amongst the clouds. But our beliefs are not so different in nature. After all, they too look to the gods for answers. Where we have many, they have just one. Only need one, I suppose. So I asked him, is your god truly so powerful? We see the dark clouds and know Thor's furious at Singe's Midgard. But I had yet to witness their god's primal powers. What were they? Did he bring bountiful harvests? Boons? The priest said that his god was everywhere and everything. I did not understand it then. Maybe I still do not. But there is an undeniable vigor, a strength in their idea of heaven. Believing that their lives will one day be better still, even with us cleaving through it. Hope, Abel. Hope. I think that is what their god brings them.
See you, old friend.
When I was a girl, I tied threads to my mother's cats in school.
Friends, amid all this battle, how many of you still recall the first time you drew steel? I tell you that I do remember. The summer harvest. I was 14. Father sent me to find my sister, who was late to the threshold.
Aid me. Be my
She
eyes.
often went to the woods with her betrothed. I found them near the Black Woods. Still.
You want to
I had an odd friend when I was a boy. His name was Nori. And by the gods, that boy could lie. Told us his father traded with
Sunan,
the elves.
guide me.
Told us he had kissed sweet Anna. Said he had seen... So we dared him to take us to the place he saw the giant. He twisted and turned, but at last he agreed. The thing is, I had been out there already. I had taken up a big rock and made footprints in the soft earth. Heels and toes. Giant's feet. When he saw those prints, he went white as a virgin's breeches. Everyone made out they were scared. And then... Who's that walking through my wood? I howled from the trees, and I thrashed the branches all around. Nori screamed like a maiden and took to his heels. By the smell of it, he emptied his arse on the way. He told us afterwards he knew it was a trick, but he never did go near those woods again.
The last time we were docked, I saw two drunk-ass Odin warriors take a tinkle of this great river steed. You know who you are, both of you. No need to raise your hand. But did you know, I saw your water stain the sides of this ship. Such a dishonor to so loyal a steed. Do you realize how many trees had to die for us to use them as our vessel? A longship is 100 horses that mated with sacred fish. Gudrun and Gudmund are like the bloody elves of Asgard. You dare desecrate this scourge of the Swan Roads, this fire spouter to the bows of England. You should lick these benches, caress the masthead, thank the sails, make offerings to the hull. This is our home upon the waves. Hail to our river king, wave walker and loyal serpent. I think I have said enough. Let it never happen again.
We need an epic tale.
Rolfer, you are destined for greatness, my father said. I did not really believe him. Not until Odin showed himself to me. Yes, Odin. The night was heavy and the moon was full. I had a bladder full of mead, so I went outside to relieve myself. My piss puddled in the soil, as piss does. In the moonlight, I saw my own reflection there. My own and another, standing at my shoulder, taller than any had a right to be, was a bearded man in a broad hat, a raven on each shoulder, his single eye fixed on me, bore into my skull. Can you believe it? This, the Allfather himself. He nodded once and I knew. I knew. The Raven Tester had chosen me. For what I did not know. But I will soon. I hear your laughter. Yes, I saw Odin in a puddle of piss. Yet how many of you have seen the Hang God, huh? That's right. Odin has shown me my path forward. One day, I will carve my name into history.
Let's hit the bastards! We are done here! Come on!
me what lies ahead.
Thor lends me strength.
Och nu, Raun och Riff!
Full sail! Full share a tail.
During my time in East Anglia, Athelred, a king that lived for a brief time before Oswald, asked a secret favor of me. He needed a ship, one to ferry some stolen goods from the ports of Jorvik to East Anglia. Said it was urgent. I had done many such runs for Halfdan in my day. I was not afraid. But something about this run made me uneasy. Still, I went. The moment we docked our boats and entered Jorvik's underbelly, the contact we met hastily handed us some heavy crates. And just as we loaded up, we noticed hooded figures at the end of the alley. They started to knock flaming arrows. I had seen enough. We shoved off, hoisted the sails, and headed fast for open water. I looked back at our contact. He was now face down in the water, stuck with arrows, his body aflame. What by Odin's beard had filled these crates? Lo and behold, it was books, piles of Christian tomes. Such madness. Who knew Athelred valued something more than ale?
Stretch your wings, Sunan.
back.